Hey guys, it's Janae the Bae. On this segment of Bae Talk, we have the beautiful and talented Kylelashay Draper joining us today.
Hi everyone, we are doing an interview with the beautiful and professional Kylelashay Draper. She is the author of Turning Me On. I have her book right here. And she is also an author on two other books, Gather the Pieces, How I Broke Free from a Broken Heart, and A Queen's Dictionary. We're going to interview her, get her a few of her words and words of encouragement on what's all going on in the world. So, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Kylelashay Draper. I am 27 years old. I'm a motivational speaker, spoken word artist, author. I'm an artist altogether. I have been doing this full time since 2018, where I walked away from my job 4 years and just dived into this thing. So I'm excited to keep going and see where my journey takes me and just keep inspiring.
That's amazing. So you walked away from it. How long were you there before you decided to step away?
I was there 4 years, but I've been in the workforce, of course, since I was like 16. But I walked away from my job of 4 years, making like $60,000 a year. Up to that point, I was doing really good, and I just was like, it's time for me to do this full time. And it was a really hard decision. I fought with God about it, but I did it.
You did it, and it's working out just great from what I can see. And everyone, please see the beautiful shirts. This is from Kylelashay Draper, Bae, Black and Educated, and she's supporting her I Love You Black Man. I have that too.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. Everything. I remember the first time I saw you when I went out to Arizona to visit my mom at the spoken word poetry school, Poetic Soul. Mm-hmm. I fell in love. Yeah. I had a girl crush on you. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, as soon as you walked up, my mom was like, Janae, watch her. I love her. And I was like, okay. And I felt like I melted in my seat. Yes. I loved it. I love it. I love the way you carry yourself, your aura, your energy.
Thank you.
You just come off so like powerful, like a powerful black woman, young black woman. And I love it. I just love it. You're welcome. So you led your first protest downtown, Phoenix. So how did that go?
It was amazing. It was exactly how I wanted it to go. It was peaceful. The kids were able to be out there. People were able to get the message. It was just all positive, kind of like, it felt like family reunion vibes. Good. And although I know there's a lot of tension in the air, a lot of emotions, it felt like change is here already, you know? Yeah. And not only that, we were able to run into a pre-existing protest. So not only were the people we gathered present, but the people that were already downtown gathering and marching, they were there, and everybody was just, doing their part with what's going on in the world. And that was my whole purpose, was to get out there and do something, not just sit back and watch. And I didn't want it to be about a social media thing or about a trendy thing. Like, that's why it took me a while to even get out and protest.
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of people are emotionally driven. Me, on the other hand, I want to be in tune spiritually. Well, what is my purpose in this situation? What can I do? You know what I'm saying? And not like, oh, I'm going to get out there, throw up a sign and be angry and march, because I believe that, the energy behind that is not, you know what I'm saying? It's not healthy. Yeah. Right. So I wanted to do it on my time when I felt like it was appropriate and I was in a peaceful space, because I was a wreck.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of this situation, just break down in tears, randomly crying, like, I cannot go out like this. I am not safe.
Right.
Out like this.
Or no one else is safe.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody.
When I'm feeling some type of way.
Yes.
So,
yes, yeah. Did you actually watch the video? I couldn't watch it. I
have not seen the George Floyd video. I refuse to watch it.
Same.
Because I am an empath and I'm going to pick up on that. And I don't need to see it. Like I remember watching the Philando Castile video and I'm still pissed off about that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't watch any of it because I'm the same way. I'm an empath, and just seeing images or anything like that, it does something to me here and mentally. It sticks with me. And I didn't even watch the video, but I saw at a protest someone held up a sign and it had all his words, everything he said in that video. And just reading that brought me to tears. It gave me goosebumps. I broke. I was an emotional wreck because I was like, I can't believe, like, and especially when he started crying for his mom, I couldn't do it.
Watch it.
I couldn't do it. But that's good that the protest went well and it wasn't, you didn't get any of that police brutality that some of the other protesters are.
Oh, and you know what? I believe that, in a space of, and this is why I didn't go out when it was really like rah,
right.
Because I'm not about to get pepper sprayed. I'm not about to go through all this negative
rubber bullet.
Right. Like, while I support the movement of, people wearing t-shirts that I can't breathe and all that stuff, I understand what the message is, but I do believe in, your words are powerful. What are you guys chanting? What are we saying at these protests?
Right.
Is it productive? Like, I don't want to walk around with a shirt that says I can't breathe. I can breathe. I will breathe. That is my purpose, to speak and breathe life into people. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important for us to not only be mindful of what's going on, but also which movement we're joining.
Right. And
because
breathe. What are you doing with?
What are you promoting?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Like, yes, we're protesting, but are we going to any of the town halls? Are we voting?
Are we voting? Are we doing our part?
Right.
Or are we just lashing out because we're angry? Yes. Because I believe in like police brutality. I know that it's rampant. I know that there's systematic racism happening. I understand that we are oppressed, but I also am a person who doesn't operate from a space of victim. I operate from a space of victor. So I want to be in a position where I have the power and I'm walking in love and purpose and light and saying, like, while it is a shitty situation right now, I know that we are overcoming. We're not going to overcome. We are overcoming.
Right.
And a part of overcoming is the situation getting worse before it gets better. But I want to be on the side of victory. You know what I'm saying? I want to fight from the side of, we getting through this and we going to make a change. We going to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, versus, I'm so angry and I just want this. You know what I'm saying? Like, anger is good. But we have to learn how to be productive in our pain.
And channel your anger in a
positive way and be productive. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just lash out and let it not get us anywhere. You know what I mean? So that was my whole purpose in protesting.
That makes a lot of sense. So I guess that kind of also wraps into, how did it make you feel as a young Black woman being a part of the movement and seeing all of that out there?
Because I am a regular pro-Black, regular, just promoting Black people and trying to instill power and positivity. Being a part of it is like a daily lifestyle for me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like all of a sudden I'm empowered, all of a sudden I'm joining, all of it. Like, I think that more than anything, the movement is allowing our people to wake up, because we keep having to do this. My only hope is that it continues, that we don't get tired of speaking out. We don't get tired of marching. We don't get tired of voting and showing up for our rights.
Right.
To be
in our community.
To be angry, to want to speak out, to want to be treated fairly, all across the board. It makes me feel like we're going to get somewhere. I just hope that we don't stop when we're tired of marching.
Right. Yeah.
Because when we get tired, that's going to be when it's most important to keep going.
Right. Because they kind of, I've heard people say that they feel like it's going to die down quick, kind of like a wildfire. Like, it's going to burn for a little bit and then it's going to die down and everybody's going to go back to their regular life.
No, there's no way.
Right. Because how? I mean, how can we go back to normalcy? There's no way. There's no way.
And you know what? There's no such thing as normal.
There really is. Not here.
Not considering COVID-19 and racism and people continuing to die and commit suicide and boys being hung on trees. How could we go back to normal?
Yes, and that's crazy too now that there are people are popping up all over, in different states. Are just but they're trying to rule it as suicides. And I'm like, and since when have you ever heard of a Black man or a Black woman going to hang themselves in public just because? I've never heard of it. it's never been a thing. That's not our MO. That's nothing that we do. So I think you're trying to charge 5 different hangings as suicides. That's ridiculous.
No, yeah, it's a matter of, like, this is happening. This is today.
Yep.
What it was 60, 70, 80 years ago, it is happening today. And it's a repetition, because what happens when we don't face our demons, they come back over and over just to see us feel stupid.
Yep. Yes. Yes, and we're going to touch on that again.
It is a cycle, and it doesn't stop until we face it, until we deal with it, until we deal with ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and as a people, we have to deal with ourselves. And it goes back to just, it's a root thing. It's not just white people. It's not just, even as women, it's not just men. It's not just anybody outside of us. It's us. We have to take our power. We have to walk in our authority. We have to remember that we're the head, not the tail, first, not the last. Beginning, you know what I'm saying? Royal priesthood, light of the world, city on top of a hill. Until we see that and stop trying to prove to people that we are that, it's not going to change.
Right.
We just have to walk as though we are.
Yep, I agree.
People will fall into alignment.
They'll follow suit. Yep, they have no other choice. When they
don't have a choice.
It's not. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. So when we get that way, when we start to move as a pack, and one by one we are enlightened and our eyes are open, even if it's one at a time, one person with their eyes open is as great as 1,000 of us, because if we're each waking up and got our eyes open, eventually we're gonna start turning on lights for people, or at least sowing the seed.
Yeah. And I feel like, and with this movement, it's opened the eyes of a lot of people who weren't aware. To those who were unaware, or those who are not Black, that were like, oh, I had no idea that this was happening. I had no clue that y'all, were going through these obstacles as Black people. Because I've been seeing people's signs up saying, I'm sorry, I'm late. It was someone said, sorry, I'm late. I was unaware, or I needed to catch up. And it was a white man. And I was like, you see, thank you. Because at least you're opening your eyes and you're acknowledging that you were, blinded to what we were going through. And I feel like that's a good thing to have them, wake up, be a part of the movement and see what's going on. And then they can also use their white privilege to help us get to where we are as well. Yeah. So what would you say how the Black culture is in Arizona? Because I ask my mom all the time. She said there's not a lot of Black culture there, or a lot of things that didn't start there. So is it any different out there in Arizona as far as Black people?
Well, to me, Black culture is still kind of new in Phoenix. And I don't come from a place, like, I'm originally from Fresno, California, where there isn't much Black culture there either. It's just Black people, and it's not like, oh, we're cultured Black people. We're just Black people. I've been to places like DC where, oh my God, it is cultured. You know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful. And even me being Black and proud and cultured myself, I don't even fit into the Black culture of DC.
Yeah.
So I think the Black culture here is growing. We are coming together more and learning to love ourselves and be more empowered as a family unit. And to be honest, Poetic Soul is the most Black cultured place.
Yeah. And I loved it there. It was
in
great.
Phoenix. There, and then there was Home Base too, which I don't know if you ever been to Home Base Poetry, but they recently stopped doing those a year ago. But it was also like an open mic poetry spot. Much different energy though, much different vibe.
Oh, what was the vibe there? How different was it from Poetry?
Well, there was no live band. There was no. It was mostly poetry, all a cappella kind of things, and it was more grown and sexy, just chill. Whereas you go to Poetic Soul, it's the party, it's a cookout, people hugging, we talking, we vibing, we're drinking,
have a great time.
It just makes you feel like, where my family at? I haven't been to Poetic Soul in a week. I need to go get my feel.
Yes.
It's really all love. It's just a love vibe there, which is why I think people come back. It's not even necessarily that it's like a place where Black people can meet, but it's like, it just feels like love.
It did, and it was very welcoming. Even though the first time I felt welcomed. I felt like I was amongst family, like you said, like a family reunion. I felt like I was there with my family. We was drinking and watching us perform. It was great. And then the energy of even if, some people were nervous, no one felt bad for
nobody felt like, they weren't good, and nobody's going to talk stuff about you or boo you, or it's not about ego. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's just about come here and express yourself. And I think the reason that it works is because love is such a vibe there. And people who don't have that vibe, like the love vibe, where they come in there to be like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whatever. Right. So if your energy is not love, you won't even feel comfortable in that space.
Right. And I give all the love, and I enjoyed every single second of it.
Why you feel love? Yes.
I loved it, and then I'm really looking forward to going back. But with this whole COVID thing, they weren't open when I was out there, which
probably not until 2021.
Really?
Ain't no telling. I mean, we want to be safe, and I'm really close with Cosmic, who's the creator of Poetic Soul or whatever. But he wants to make sure everybody's safe, and he doesn't want to tarnish the way the culture is at Poetic Soul by like, we can only have this amount of people in, because it's all about bringing people together. Right. Like, we don't want to have to social distance, because what we do when we go in there, we're hugging people, we're talking, we in each other's faces. It wouldn't be the same.
That's true. So with that, how have you been during the whole COVID and quarantining and, just being in the house stuck for 2 to 3 months now?
Girl, getting thick.
Ain't no wrong
with getting thicker than cold oatmeal. Honey, I have been just not doing nothing. Honestly, it's been a blessing for me, though. I understand that it hasn't been good for everyone, so I'm very conscious of that. But for me, it hasn't been a negative. It's just been a time of reflection, focusing on me, being selfish with me, because, girl, when the world is open, Kylelashay is everywhere. Kylelashay is at everybody's event, talking to people, hanging out, hiking, eating food, mingling, and it's important to have time to yourself as well. And I'm such a social butterfly that this social distancing is actually good.
A good thing.
Though I haven't really been social distancing much, especially from the people that I love, but it's been good for business, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. The only thing that fell off is my physical, and that's because I ain't been working out.
And that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with being thick. Ain't nothing wrong with being thick. Ain't nothing wrong with
nothing at all, girl. I'm just saying, like, I gotta get it together, girl. I'm one hamburger away. That's why.
That is fine. That is fine. Hey, the men's love that anyway, so it's fine. So how did you get started with becoming an entrepreneur and having, all your different businesses? And also to kind of, I guess, add in that you're a woman of many talents. You're an author, actress, you do your motivational speaking, you do your spoken word, you do apparel, you have your own website. I feel like you do it all. Your hands are in all the puzzles.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff. It's too much sometimes. Yeah. But I honestly got started by just getting in, just doing it, and just showing up. And when I began to show up in the community, I began meeting a lot of people, just getting my foot and stuff. People liked my work and what I stood for. And, the connection started there. I know that a lot of the battle is just arriving and showing up and being the right person at the right place at the right time.
Right.
In that, I was able to start connecting with like minds, people who had entrepreneurship spirit. And I remember the first time I brought shirts ever. And made money off of them. Like, I literally was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to go and I'm going to bring 3 shirts because I didn't believe that I was going to sell. I'm going to bring 3 and see what happened. Girl, them shirts, $60 in 5 minutes. And I was like, wow, I just made $60 in 5 minutes. What just happened? You know what I'm saying? So then I started to realize, like, okay, people want to hear what I have to say. They care about my message. And then, just everything started to kind of unfold for itself. And then, again, showing up, being present, allowing people to see what I got, getting my first paid gig where a person paid me to travel to LA, my room, food, money to do it, like my first paid gig. And I realized, like, people are willing to pay me for this. This is something I would do for free. But they're willing to pay me for it. I got something here, and that's what made me confident enough to walk away from my job and say, okay, I'm going to do this full time and take it seriously. Not that I had a choice, because when God said it's time for me to walk away, it's time. I didn't have a choice.
Right. So what would you say, what came first, or what was your first talent? Was it, the writing the books, the poetry, the apparel?
What was my very first talent?
Yeah, your very
what
first.
was my very first, like, passion?
Ooh, both.
The first thing I noticed was singing.
Okay.
And I thought I wanted to be a singer, like, for sure, act and all that stuff. But I was trying to be a singer, a rapper, you know what I'm saying? Because I rhyme, that's what I was trying to do. I was on my way to being the first Nicki Minaj before there was a Nicki Minaj, but she beat me to it.
Really? You rap?
I was like, she beat me to it. I was supposed to be the first.
It was supposed to be me.
Yo, me. She older, yo, she tricked me, dog. So I was doing that, and then I remember one day trying to record a video of me. I think I was trying to rap. I don't know what I was trying to do, but it wasn't working. In other words, I was getting frustrated because I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, God, fine. I'm going to do something for you today.
Yeah.
And I ended up recording a video poem called A Chance for Salvation. And that was my first video that went past like 100 shares. You know what I'm saying? It was just a poem. And it got to probably 500 shares before I was like, oh, so y'all just want to hear me do poems.
Yeah.
All this time I've been singing and doing all this cool tricks and stuff. And y'all just want to hear me talk?
You just want to hear me talk the whole time?
You want to hear me talk? Are you kidding me? So I ended up doing a poem called Bad Bitches. And it went viral. It went crazy. Like, over 25,000 shares. Like, and I remember even with A Chance for Salvation, which made me do the poem Bad Bitches. I hope I can cuss in your thing. Like, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Take your mind.
Yeah, which made me do that because this guy, he had inboxed me about A Chance for Salvation, and he was like, hey, I just wanted you to know that I was getting ready to commit suicide, and then I ran across your video, A Chance for Salvation, and it saved my life. And I was like, wow.
Well, yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah.
And then once I did that, and then I did Bad Bitches, and it went viral, I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
You have something. Yeah, you got something here. I need to listen to Bad Bitches then.
Oh yeah, that was my first ever viral video.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yes.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the most challenging part of being an entrepreneur? Is it as easy or as hard as they make it look? I say, or is it more as hard as they say it is? Because to me, it always looks hard.
Entrepreneurship is a roller coaster.
Okay.
So what makes it the greatest thing that you could ever imagine is freedom.
Of course.
It's the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it, and be free to get up and travel and sleep and wake up and do what you do. Right. But what makes that hard is that same freedom can either cause you to be a slacker. It could, you responsible for what you make or don't make. Yeah. Sometimes you'll make $1,000 in a day. Sometimes you'll make $0.
Yeah.
Sometimes that'll happen consistently for 30 days where you make $1,000 a day, and then you have 30 days straight where you ain't getting nothing.
Yeah.
And that is both the best and the worst thing about entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Your success and your failure is all on you. You have nobody to turn to and say, oh, boss, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. You didn't give me enough accounts, or you didn't give me enough work, or you didn't give me this. Nobody's giving you anything. You have to hunt.
And do it yourself. Was that hard for you in the beginning to kind of like prioritize your time on, making stuff and getting things done?
Yes, because I was still in the 9-to-5 set of thinking.
Okay.
Meaning, like, I used to beat myself up because, like, I will wake up at like 6 a.m. and I'm like, I gotta hustle because it's early in the morning, and then I'll stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, well, the midnights, the late hours are my creative time, and then like I feel bad for sleeping in during the day because I should be up because it's daytime, and then I realize like time is not a factor. You work when you're at your optimum level. You do it when it works best for you. You be creative when you feel creative.
Right.
When you're tired, go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop trying to be on a clock with the rest of the world and get on the clock with what works for you.
For you.
So
right.
It was definitely like a balancing act for me, because I'm like a person who, I'm like all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So time is something that, again, I told you, I'm not too punctual. So I'm like, oh God, like, what do I do? Like, what should I be doing? And I'm always feeling like I'm not doing enough.
Right.
Even when I've done a whole bunch in the day, I'll still feel like there's more I gotta do. And everybody looking at me like, go your ass to sleep. That's what you're supposed to do.
Clock out.
Good night.
Clock out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. So did you have a lot? So I guess what would you say is your most creative time, or the time where you're the most creative?
Definitely in the middle of the night when I'm not even trying to be.
Okay.
When I'm minding my business, laying down, and then bam, you know. So it's important for me to keep something near me that I can write with, or because I get inspired out of nowhere when I'm just laying in my bed sleeping, or just at the oddest times. Honestly, there's no time on creativity.
Right.
At all. It's not something I can force. So when people ask me questions like, how do you write your poems? Or what do you do? Can you teach me how to? I'm like,
God.
Divine inspiration. It's true. Because if I sit here and I literally be like, I'm going to try to write a poem. Good luck.
Right. Exactly.
There's nothing there.
Yeah. There's nothing.
And I'm like, y'all, like, I ain't that deep. As an individual, I am not that deep. It's my anointing. You know what I'm saying? So while I would love to like tell people like this is how you write a poem, I just know how to rhyme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the anointing behind the poems that do touch people the most, it's just God.
Yeah.
Because I know how to put words together and rhyme. I could entertain you all day, but can I inspire you? Can I move you? Can I enlighten you? That's all
that's nothing but him.
Divine, yeah.
Yep. So I guess we'll turn to your beautiful book. Like I said, it took me a whole, not even 2 hours to read it. It was amazing. If I could just somehow fit all of this into my head and just keep it all in, it was amazing. Like I was in the car, I was getting upset at people interrupting me while I was reading it. I was like, leave me alone. I am reading. and actually, I'm not even a person. It's been a while since I've been into books. Like, I used to be a big reader. It's been years, since maybe like high school, middle school. Mm-hmm. But that book, it got me. It got me on the first page, and I was in it deep. Mm-hmm. I loved every chapter. I can see myself and relate to every single chapter of the book. Mm-hmm. It was beautifully written. It was very inspiring. Like it inspired me to make changes in my own life and look within myself and make those changes that you made, because I went through some of the things that you talked about in your book. Mm-hmm. So what inspired you to write Turning Me On?
I wanted to heal, you know, and I was like, you know what? If I'm going to go through all of this shit, I'm about to get paid from it.
Pay me.
I need to turn my pain into a paycheck. I can't just sit here and let all of what I've experienced go to waste.
Right.
You know, and I don't believe that the things that we go through are for us. It's for everybody else.
Right.
But the thing that we do is we hide our trauma. We hide what we've been through. We're ashamed of it. We don't want people to know that we've been through this, or we've put up with that, or, you know what I'm saying? We've allowed ourselves to be X, Y, and Z because we're ashamed of it. But I heard a quote that says what draws us together most, what we fear most to tell, is the thing that connects us to other people. Like, how do you connect to other people if you don't have anything that's shared, you know? So I wrote it because I knew that I needed to tell somebody, like, hey, love yourself. Hey, you can get through this. Hey, when you feel like dying, you're getting ready to live. If you keep on living, if you keep on going, if you keep waking up and being intentional. Like, I wanted to die after that last experience. Yeah. Now, imagine wanting to die and then coming to life as a new person. Right. Like, that experience alone birthed a brand new me. So I know that I needed to go through it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it inspired me to write. My first book ever was Gather the Pieces.
Okay.
Which came from that situation. It was just a bunch of poetry I wrote to keep from dying.
Yeah. No,
like,
and people do that to you.
I can't text all this to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm gonna write. I'm gonna get it off my chest. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna write again until I don't feel this way anymore, because I don't like feeling no type of way. I am sunshine, butterflies, rainbows, trees, birds, and bees.
Yep.
I don't want to be sad.
Yes, I'm spewing nothing but positivity, rays of sunlight, all that
Get it
love.
Out. You know what I'm saying?
Get it out.
Yep. I don't want this. Like, this is not mine. So that I write to get it out.
Yeah, and that's beautiful, and it's very inspiring. And like you said, people don't want to share or say, that they've been through some of those things, or some of the, I guess, what people say is negative or take L's. A lot of women go through it, but they don't want to speak to it and say it. And like you said in your book, like, it's okay to go through it, but don't continue to go through it, and accept the disrespect, and just keep it going. I think one of the last few pages said kind of like a washing machine.
Yeah.
As long as you come out new, or with less stains than you came in.
Yeah.
Then you're making those changes. You're making steps in the right direction. I could relate to every single chapter. It was crazy, but I'm definitely gonna read Gather the Pieces and Queen's Dictionary. So what is a Queen's Dictionary about?
A Queen's Dictionary is a book of affirmations, words, definitions, and poetry.
Okay.
Words. So you'll have a word like I am beautiful, and it'll define what beautiful means, and I'll give you a poem on that word.
Oh, okay.
And I wrote that because I'm like, we don't know how amazing we are. We don't tell ourselves enough. So I learned to speak over myself, look in the mirror. I used to write on my mirror with a dry erase marker and put, I am beautiful, I am intelligent, I am loved, I am this and I am that, until I started to believe it. And it was such an empowering thing for me to look at myself in my own eyes and be like, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know how to do that at some point. So I wanted to share those very simple affirmations and just, remind each one of us that we are royalty, and it's nobody's job to convince us of that, but ourselves. So when I say a Queen's Dictionary, I'm not talking about Kylelashay is the queen. I'm talking about you are the queen. Whoever reads it, a Queen's Dictionary. And if you find that you want to add words and say, I am this and I am that, whatever you say you are
That's
that.
What you are.
That's what the book says. You are what you say you are, not what nobody else says.
I love that. That's beautiful. And would you say, because I often, talk with friends about self-love, and like you said, you have to find that within yourself. Do you think for some people it's more so going through some of that trauma and going through some of those obstacles that help them find self-love? Or do you think some people just already have that, or they're taught that from their parents and other people?
I definitely think that self-love is, sometimes it comes from what your parents will instill in you. It comes from childhood. I don't think that we are born. I mean, let me think about how I want to say this. I think that we are born in love, right?
Yeah.
So naturally, as babies, we only know the version of love at which we are loved.
Right.
So if nobody's hugging us and nobody's telling us that we're beautiful and nobody's telling us that we're good enough and we're brand new to this earth, we won't ever have that. You know what I'm saying? So while I know that babies are loved when they enter in, everything we consume, as soon as we get to this side of existence, it becomes everybody else's stuff. All that we are is everybody else's stuff, because all we are sponges. You know what I'm saying? I think we come from divine place. We come from love, but eventually we move away from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that when you get old enough, if you find that you don't have self-love, because some of us have it because we were given the proper amount of love and hugs and kisses and affirmations, so we know what loving ourselves feels like because somebody told us how. But when we find that we don't have self-love, and oh man, we're putting up with a level of disrespect, or we're not loving ourselves the way we deserve to be loved. Gosh, I seen somewhere, I don't even know what book this came from. I wish I could tell you, but it says, we will only tolerate the level of disrespect at which we give ourselves. So if somebody disrespects you more than you disrespect yourself, then you won't tolerate it. But if they do it at the same level that you do it to yourself, then you be cool with it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to find out, what is it, and in what ways am I not loving myself to where I'm allowing people to do this to me?
Right. And you talked about that in the book as well, how you sat down and you wrote out, characteristics of yourself, of other people, your parents, and you just wrote everything out, and you were able to tolerate. Yep. And what you're willing to receive from other people, and what's okay and what's not okay. And there was a question I was going to go with what you were saying. It was about self-love. So I guess my thing is kind of with self-love and disrespect. So I guess for me personally, I feel like I love myself. I love me. I'm my favorite person outside of my daughter. I'm my favorite person. I love hanging out with me. I love me. I think I'm dumb as fuck. But I would say, and sometimes with friends and with men, I guess I sometimes do accept or tolerate the disrespect from them. So is that what's the word I'm looking for?
Not self-love?
Yeah, is that not self-love, since I'm accepting certain parts of disrespect from other people?
I'm not going to, no, I don't think that's not self-love. Okay. I think that, again, the level of disrespect that you can tolerate is based on the level of disrespect that you give to yourself.
Okay.
I don't think that constitutes as not loving yourself. So I know that in terms of self-love, like there are those who, I love myself, right? I think I'm cute, I'm smart, I'm this, I'm that, right? Like there are some people who have that with ego.
Okay.
And then there's those who have that with a level of like humility, like I love myself because damn it, I deserve to be loved, and I work this way to get this way. And then you have those that are just like, I have a sense of self-love, but I still know that there's still more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that you're in the digging stages of like, oh no, I love me, and I don't care what you say about me. But at the same time, it's a matter of, all right, I love myself too much to accept that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got, like when you get to a point of saying, I love myself too much for that, you know what I'm saying? Because I think no matter what you do and what you go through or where you go in life, you're going to have some disrespectful people. You're going to have people who won't love you the way you love you. But I'm the type of person where I don't even put myself in spaces where I'm not celebrated.
I like that.
I don't want to be tolerated. I don't want to be around people who don't see all that I am the way I see all that I am. Why? Because I worked too hard to see myself this way. I did my homework, my soul surgery. I cleaned out the stuff that I didn't need. So to be around somebody who's like, she ain't cute.
Right. That's okay.
Because I totally understand that I'm not cute to everybody. I'm not smart to everybody. I'm not this, and that. And I'm never going to be that for everybody. I totally get it.
Right.
But if you don't appreciate my presence, I can give you my accent. And we going to both be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But that, I aspire to continue to reach those levels of self-love. I'm not fitting myself into any space.
Right.
Where somebody don't feel like they got to respect my space. And that goes for mom, dad, sister, brother. Because my thing is this. If I tell you how you're hurting me, and I tell you, hey, this hurts, and you're saying, I don't care, I'm going to keep doing it. Whether you say that or you just do it.
Yep.
And I have the right to remove myself.
Right.
Because I respect, and I don't like the pain that you're causing me.
Right.
So it's not a matter of, oh, I don't love myself or I think I deserve this. You know what I'm saying? When you tolerate certain disrespects or X, Y's, and Z's, it's a matter of how much can you take? You know what I'm saying? Like me, I have a very low tolerance. That's just me. Yeah. Now, can I forgive? I can forgive over and over and over again. I can forgive for different things. But that don't mean I got to have you in my life.
You can still kick rocks. You can still keep pushing. So would you say that now you're level of tolerance is lower because of all that you went through in the book from what you wrote about? Do you think over time your tolerance went down, or was it high at one point?
I don't think that I ever really had a high tolerance for pain.
Okay.
I just think that parts of me thought it was normal.
Right.
Or that I deserved it. Or this is just the way it is kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, whereas when I realized, like, I am too good to people to allow people to not be good to me.
Yep. I like that.
And it's not that I think I deserve better, but because I treat myself a certain way, why would I let you come and treat me any differently?
Right.
So that's when I say, like, you know, I didn't love myself. Every toxic relationship that I attracted came from the toxic relationship I had with me.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it ain't even necessarily that I didn't love myself. It's just that I didn't have a good relationship with me.
Yeah.
I thought that I needed somebody to validate me. I needed to prove to people why they should love me. I needed to show them, like, oh, I'm dope. Look, look, look. And while I always knew that I was dope and I was confident in who I wasn't confident in who I was to the point where I was just cool with me.
Right.
Nobody else was.
Yeah. And I also feel like with that, a lot of men, they know the manipulators or narcissists, because I've dealt with some of those too. They find a way, and it's like they know that you're vulnerable, or they know that you know, you don't, you're
they
where
know
you are.
They can smell it.
They can smell it, and then they dig into it. Yep, they dig into it, and they fest, and they feed off of it as long as you're still there. Because I dealt with that for about a year or two, dealing with someone manipulative. You know, I'm sitting here crying, and you're still yelling at me, telling me this, and I'm still sitting here crying, and I'm like, why are you still talking down to me? Don't you see I'm hurt? You're kicking a dead horse. Why is that okay for you? And you have no feeling of empathy for that, or sympathy, like, oh damn, maybe I should stop.
Because they don't have it. Like when you don't have it to give, you don't. There's nothing
it's just
you
not
can
there.
do.
And I think that's crazy, because I'm kind of like you. Like I'm a very happy, positive person. I'm good to other people. I'm always willing to give and help anybody that's around me. I don't even have to know you. You could be a stranger on the street. I'm gonna do. If you need help, I'm gonna help you. But it seems like when people like you and me, those are people that get walked on the most or stepped all over and used up, because you're so good to everybody else. They just take, and nobody.
Why you have to take your power back?
Yep.
And
I agree with that.
It is at your discretion at which you disperse that love, light, and positive energy. Your discretion.
Yep.
So for me, what allowed me to tap into the power that I have is me saying, I'm responsible for whatever love I give to you.
Yep.
Whatever I give to you because I gave it to you and because I wanted to. And when you get to a space of loving like that, where you don't have a motive for people to love you back, a motive for them to be in a relationship with you, a motive for them to pay you back for all the good that you are, it becomes less about, oh, give me the love back, and more about, I love you because I love you. I love you because it's who I am, not because it's who you are. It's the person you are because you deserve it. Because people that I didn't love have not deserved my love.
Right.
But if loving was about deserving, then nobody out here will be worthy of love.
They wouldn't be.
Including me. So I think that your power will come from detaching yourself from outcomes. Don't attach yourself to, oh, I'm going to do this for him and maybe he'll see, or I'm going to do this for that person and maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to do it, just do it because you just want to do it.
And it's out of your heart. It's something you wanted to do, not because
I don't do anything. Exactly. I don't do nothing else unless I want to do it. And I don't feel moved when people be like, well, you should. Why? Why should I do or be or say anything?
It says
according to who?
It says who?
Compared to who? Where does this should come from?
Where's that?
I either am or I am not. I either will or I will not. I won't.
Yep. And that's up to me to
that's
do.
On me. And I gotta live with that in my own consciousness and my own spirit, mind, and I'm so I'm so hung up on going with your convictions.
Yep.
You have to go with your convictions, because when you don't go with your convictions, that's how you get your heart broke. That's how you get your mind played with. That's how you go with your convictions. Like, if you don't feel comfortable with laying down and sleeping with a person or having sex with a person, don't have sex with them just because they want you to, or they threaten to leave you, or if you ain't gonna give it to me then, or don't do nothing for nobody that you don't want to do. Don't go with your convictions.
Yep. Like your gut feeling.
I've done that too. Like, I've had so much like trauma surrounding like my sexuality and things like that, because I always thought that I was supposed to give it to a person because they were nice to me, or I was supposed to do it because he deserves it. He bought me dinner, and I don't want to feel like I'm using him, so I'm gonna give him this or I'm gonna do that, because I don't want to do nothing for you. I'm not doing it.
Because I don't want to. Yep.
I don't care if you fly me out to Spain. I don't care if you introduce me to your mama. I don't care if you tell me I'm beautiful. You put $10,000 in my bank account.
Do
if
all
I
that
don't
you want.
feel it, I'm not doing it.
Yep. And that's I feel like that was a point a lot of women need to get to, is if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. And there's no way that you can try to guilt trip me, make me feel bad for it, try to coerce me or persuade me to do it otherwise. No means no. I'm not going to do it. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. And you should be okay with my decision.
And you know what happens when you become that?
What?
Power. And what happens to powerful women?
They rise.
You want to make me feel guilty?
Yep.
Guilty for owning my power, which is God-given?
Right.
If you're a man, this is the difference. This is the difference between men and women. Men are exactly what we're saying right now. Either I will or I won't, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And it's okay for them. You can't guilt trip them. You try to be like, oh, but what? Well, and they're fine with it. They don't care.
And they do not feel guilty.
They sleep just fine at night. They do not care. Because they got my booty. You still gave it up. You gave me what I wanted. I'm out. I'm good.
Exactly. And whose fault is it? And we over here like, oh, but I trusted you, and I gave you my body, and I thought this, and I thought that. Well,
you thought. That's a nice thought.
Why did you do it for me? I didn't ask you to do it for me. If you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And that's always their response. I didn't ask you to do that. And I'm like, wow. See, now you make me feel bad for being a giving person and a caretaker and wanting to help you. Now you're turning it around on me and saying I'm the bad one. I'm wrong.
He didn't turn it around. He just saying that you did it because you did it. No other reason.
So that's it's true.
And it sounds so mean, because it's like, no, I did it because I love you. Well, if you love me, then why are you mad that you did it just because I didn't do what you wanted me to do in return?
Right.
So you either love me or you don't. You either gonna love me on your own without anything from me, or you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, when I said after I got my heart broke and, I went through my phase of like questioning my own judgment, I had the realization that it wasn't his responsibility to do anything. Like, I had to be the one that said, like, this is what I did. I chose to love him. I chose to sleep with him. I chose to travel. I chose to be with him.
Right.
No matter what. The only thing that broke my heart was, I guess, like, him not being loyal.
Yep.
It was nothing else except the loyalty.
And he was in honesty.
Because
you were friends before anything. You were friends, and friends are always honest with one another. So if you can't be honest, then what do we have?
Mm-hmm. I have to myself like, girl, listen, let me tell you, when I say we have to be responsible for what we do.
Yep.
What we say, what we feel, and what we think. Nobody else is responsible for that. So to this day, I could be with a man, right?
Yeah.
And he could not call me for a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am still responsible for how I feel about that.
Right.
I'm responsible for that. Nobody is responsible for the way I think, feel, act, what I say. Nobody. Because I might feel some type of way about that, and I might be like, yo, that's cold game. Like, why he ain't call me? You make me feel like scared that I'm lose you. Or I picked up those feelings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because in the same token, the man could be somewhere dead, right?
And you don't.
He called me in a whole week, and I'm like, oh, where he at? And he don't love me.
He don't love me no more.
I picked up all these feelings.
Yep.
And he lost his phone and he dead or something happened.
Something happened.
But yep. I'm responsible for what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. Until I get the fact.
Right. No, you're going by assumptions.
Now, when I get the fact of, oh, I ain't call you for a week because I don't like you like that or I don't want to talk to you.
I was busy.
When I get the fact, I'm still responsible for how I feel.
Yep. And then you're also responsible on how you choose to move forward.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now, if I feel some type of way like, oh, he kind of got me fucked up. He just think he gonna not call me for a week and then just hit me up. I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool. I don't fuck with you no more.
Right.
And I still might feel some type of way. But
right.
What am I gonna do with what I feel? We be staying with people and be feeling some type of way.
Yes.
Because we choosing to stick around.
Yep. But expecting
if you feel like that, then what you gonna do about what you feel?
And nothing. All you do is sweep it under the rug, and you're like, no, it's fine until they do something, and it piles on, and it keeps going and going and going until you explode, and then you explode out of nowhere, and they're like, damn, what's your problem? What's wrong with you? God. Well, I got these.
You've been making me feel, and you've been making me think, and you've been making me know. Yep. I've been making me think and feel, and
right. Yep.
Nobody's responsible.
Right. So, and turning me on, what would you say was the most, I guess, painful chapter or thing to kind of relive and write about?
Girl, all of it.
All of it?
Because the thing is, like, when I started writing it, I didn't know that I wasn't healed from that stuff that I had already gone through. I thought I was over it.
Right.
Until I was writing about it and having to remember it and relive it and go back to those detailed moments.
Yes.
So that I can take the reader through what I was going through.
Yeah.
And that was hard. Like, there was times where I was like, I don't even want to work on a book. I didn't work on it for a month because I was like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to feel it. I'm stressed. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Because it requires me to deal with myself.
Yeah. And especially the the chapter of the abuse, I'm telling you, it had me shook. I was in the car with my mouth wide open. I was like, oh my God, like having a fight and basically you were trying to save yourself from him. And he just didn't care. Like, he even blamed you. He's like, why do you make me so mad? Why do you make me do this?
Yes.
I did nothing. And then after he went to jail and then y'all got back together again, he tried to throw you out the door, out the window with your sisters there. I was like, what?
Girl, having to relive that and just experience it all over again, I was like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? But
work the next day after that was
act like nothing happened.
Yeah. I can't believe you did it.
Poised, walking like, you know what I'm saying? Like, went into work, killed it. Nobody knew. Until his mama called.
Yes. And when he said, no, she didn't. Called your job.
She called my job. And when what I put in those key boxes where I italicized, that was her words verbatim. So when I was like, did you notice any errors? I was wondering if you caught that as an error. Like when she said, she put sons on my hands.
Yeah. I saw that, I knew what you meant. I was like,
No. She said it that way.
She said it that way.
That was not a mistake. That was how she said it.
She put sons on my hand.
I don't know what she was going through, but she sounded like she was crying or drunk or something. But she was like, she put sons on my hands and she lied. And like, I quoted her verbatim. That was not a mistake.
Wow. She had to be going through something. But the fact but you were trying to tell her, you're in the family, what actually happened, and nobody wanted to hear it. So how is it that you can excuse your son's actions like it just didn't happen?
Toxic behavior. It's a familial thing. I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong, according to them.
Yeah.
Probably just because he got the police called on him.
What were you supposed to do? Sit there and just let him choke you out? Or like what would have been their answer to that? What do you do?
The whole situation was toxic from day one. Girl, you read it and he moved in after our first date.
He lied. He lied about, from the beginning to end, he lied about everything. Everything. And the thing is that they make it sound so good. The lies sound so, like, just so believable. And a lot of men, they just have the tendency, they're able to do that. Just make it sound good. And to where you can just eat it up and believe it. And then you find out at the end of the day,
they smell it if they could get over on you. They smell it. And, you know, in healing, I began praying to God, like, Lord, you know, ever isn't for me, like, make me stink to them, meaning like make me unattractive, make me just, I don't want her. Just don't leave alone. I don't want anything about me to be attractive to anybody who isn't for me. Yeah. So while I still have attracted people that aren't like, oh, supposed to be in my life forever, I believe that everybody that I've been attracting to, like attracting as of late, they're part of my learning process. Like either I need to pour into them or they have something that I need. Right. But I don't often attract these like types of situations these days. Like, and that's good. Like, I ain't attracting nobody perfect, because perfect people don't exist. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely know that I'm getting closer to Mr. Right. To Mr. Because I was gonna say, who you got anybody right now? I do, but you know, we keeping it secret, like not secret, but not for the world. It ain't for nobody. And the reason why is because I said, listen, I got a book called Lessons I Learned from My Exes. Like, I don't need nobody else being able to be attached to my name. Like, oh, I dated Kylelashay. No, you didn't. Because if it didn't work, well, you don't exist. You didn't date me. You didn't. You met me. You know me. We vibe. We talked. We chatted. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if it ain't work with me, you don't have any. What history. You think we have? Right. Right. Girl, would you believe me if I told you there was this guy? And this was while I was writing Turning Me On. Uh-huh. And there was this guy who I thought we were friends relatively, like, you know what I'm saying, like associates, but, you know, always good vibes when we were around. Long story short, we hung out one time, and I'm thinking we hanging out as friends. You know, he scooped me up, we go kick it, hang out, da-da-da-da-da. Come to find out, he likes me. He wants to pursue me. He wants to be my man. Okay. And I'm like, I don't want no man, you know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody, like, I didn't even like him like that. Like, I just was like, I thought we was cool, you know, and he really was aggressively pursuing me, which I admired. So he pressed the issue on us being together. And what did I do? Because I liked the way he was persistent and I didn't really want to lose him because he ain't really want to be my friend if he couldn't be my man. What did I do? I got in a relationship with him. Very short. Mm-hmm. But I did it because he wanted to. Right. Not because I wanted to, right? Right. Girl, this man full of bombaras, okay? Full of it. So we don't work out or whatever. And long story short, I just don't like the person. I don't like him anymore. Like, I treat him like he does not exist to me. Whenever he sees me, he tries to talk to me. He does not exist to me. And the reason why is principle. How you beg me to be in a relationship is just... And we were good friends and we were cool. And you, right. And girl, when I first seen him after like post breakup, why he was like, oh, I want to talk to you about my entry in the book. Your what? What are you talking? My entry into the book. That's comical. Is he gonna try out for stand up? Is he gonna go on Poetic Soul or something? Girl, he thought he got an entry in my book. After what? Girl, he tried it. Did you laugh in his face just like that? Yes. I was like, you are not in my book. Nowhere near it. Not that important. Another factor. Stop. And I felt like, did you just try to be in a relationship with me just so you can get in the book? Right. I'm confused. I am puzzled. No, sir. That's not how it works. So yeah, girl, that's why I'm like, I don't need to be attached. I don't need people to be like, oh yeah, me and her dated. No. And I'm embarrassed that I even dated this person because everybody be like, ugh, why you date? Ugh. I'm just like, oh God, why?
Dang, do you really ask him? Do you really want to be in the book?
This is what happened when you don't follow your convictions.
Yeah. And you want to be in it. I mean, I could put you in it, but I ain't say it was gonna be anything good.
I would not give him the satisfaction.
He don't deserve it.
It is a pure compliment for me to even write about these people.
Yeah.
I didn't put their names in the book on purpose, you know, because I believe in, you know, making sure people's identities are protected. And ain't nobody finna sue me. You ain't gonna get none of these royalties.
Yeah.
I already paid you in pain. Like, listen.
Look at what I paid you in
all
pain.
you put me through,
Yep. That is more than money.
So, yeah. No, I'm just like, I don't want to tell people who I'm like dealing with dating until like, you know, unless we marry, we are not publicizing this.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
And it shows, and even in the book, you know, all the things that you would do with these people, and you would do a lot of big relationship things, like go out of town, go to Mexico.
Country. Yeah.
And he's showing up to your job with flowers and doing all this big grand gestures. Girl, and it still end out or turn out. It's a thing.
It's not even that it's embarrassing to fail. It's just a matter of like, you know how you just don't want to be attached to everybody, or you don't want everybody attached to you.
Right.
Like, I never understood the value of like privacy until like with maturity everything comes, you know, like. And I put my business on blast on purpose with this book, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But going forward, I don't intend to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's for me. It's me in my adult life. I know better. All is for me now. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm going to write about it, or, you know what I'm saying?
You choose to, yeah.
But people did ask me, oh, do you think you will add people to the book? No. The book is going to be exactly what it is. And I'm not going to add nobody else.
Yeah, and I love that you were brave and vulnerable enough to put yourself out there like that and share a little piece of your life and a piece of you all inside the book. Because like you said, a lot of people would probably be, ashamed or don't want to admit a lot of that stuff. But that it's real life, really. I mean, it happens to other people, that and more, more or less, this kind of stuff does happen. Mm-hmm. And it's something to go, it's a lesson. Or like turn your L's into lesson. Their lessons, not even really taking L's in a loss. You're learning from.
Process.
Yeah, it's an experience.
The L is to learn. To get a lesson, to live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not losing anything. Like, ain't no losing, because everything that I went through is a part of who I am now. Like, why I'm like, boy broke my heart, like, to the point where I wanted to die. But the good news is I did die. I died to my old self. I died to my old habits, my old way of thinking. I had to, in order to. I could not exist in that same space of like who I am today. I don't know who he is today, but when he sees me again, I'm not even that girl.
Right.
I did see him a couple of times after, the situation. Like, he tried to have sex with me again and stuff like that. And I'm just like, no.
Like you said, if you're just like, no, thank you.
And it's not even that I'm repulsed, because like, I genuinely thought this man was going to be my husband. Even 2 years after post, I'm like, this is my husband. Because
you said a lot through the book.
I could not fathom.
This is him right here. This is my husband. He's mine. Every time you said in this book, I laughed because I was like, that's me. I'm like, this is him. He's here.
Girl, let me tell you, like, I feel like I just let the idea go that was my husband, like, and that's why I'm like, it wasn't repulsive that necessarily that he would try. It was repulsive that the audacity of you to not, still be ready, but still be trying to do this when you know how bad it hurt. That is what was repulsive. Because I still loved him, still was attracted, still all the same stuff, but at the same time, I felt myself growing up. And becoming something new. And then when I would see him, in order for me and him to relate now, I either have to go here or he has to come there. And that's neither of those things were happening. So that wasn't gonna work.
Yeah. And it's just good to know, like we said earlier, to see that you can go through all of that as a woman and still grow from it and learn from it, and then be able to move on and not hold on to a lot of that hurt and pain and stuff that you went through before, and not carry that on throughout your life, because not every person is, I know a lot of women like to trash men. It's not all men, and not all men are like that. There are a handful that are.
Oh, there's a lot.
There's a lot of
not
them,
even a handful, ma'am. The world is filled.
It's filled. You got 2 handfuls of them.
And let me tell you, I'm going to say this. Let me say this. I'm not ever going to be one to say all men are the same.
Yeah.
But all women, all men are the same, all women are the same. And when I say that, what I mean is we are going to get what we are.
Yeah.
We are going to attract what we are. So if he can smell insecurity on me, he's going to play on my insecurities.
Right.
Because we are mirrors. We are literally reflections of ourselves. Like, the only way we can relate is to what is familiar. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for instance, like, for a while, I remember I told you I didn't like boys that liked me.
Yep.
In the book, I didn't like guys that liked me because I was used to rejection. Like, I was familiar with people making me feel unloved and unworthy. So what did I do? I went with boys who I needed to prove myself to. I was trying to win them because I was trying to win my dad, and I was trying to win my mom's attention, and that's all that was. So of course all men are going to be the same in that light if I continue to be the same woman.
Right.
So if I'm the same woman, I'm going to attract the same man.
Right.
Now that I'm a different woman, I'm attracting a different man.
Okay.
So to me, right now, all men still are the same, whether good or bad. So if I have a perception of good man because I've had a history, a track record, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm going to see. Like, my perspective, it's a matter of perspective and perception.
Yes.
To some women, all men are the same.
Yep. But because they haven't changed, or they haven't.
That is what they see.
Yep. And that's what they're attracting, like I said, because you didn't change yourself from within to attract different or to get different. So exactly. I can.
So they are the same.
So they are the same to them.
It's women in their 60s singing that same tune.
Yep. That men ain't shit.
And they all the same. Why is that? Because for 60 years, you've been the same woman.
Yep. Which is
guess what you've been doing? Attracting the same man.
Yep. It's the same exact thing. So I guess so let's see if we have some time for you to do 2 of your poems. If you'd like to go ahead, or we can squeeze in 1, because I know we went over an hour.
Oh, okay. So what we talking about?
I'm gonna let you pick. Do whichever one you would like to bless us with. You go right ahead. I'll let you pick.
Okay, let me see. I'm trying to see if I want to because we've been on relationship topics and we went on a lot of stuff. Let me think.
Yeah.
When you lose a good woman, the joke will always be on you. So never take it for granted the fact that a good woman loves you. Don't ever get comfortable with the amount of times that woman has forgiven you, and don't think that just because she loves you that she cannot leave you. Because the thing about them tables, they always can turn. She might be nagging you right now. You better be taking heed to her words, because I promise when she stopped talking, her actions will be heard. And she will go back to hitting up all them other dudes she had to curb. And when you see her happy, smiling, getting everything she wanted and begged for from you, and you see her giving away all that love, loyalty, and good pussy she was giving to you, you gonna be sick to your stomach. There ain't gonna be nothing that you can do. No amount of sorries, no amount of apologies gonna bring that woman back to you. So if you got yourself a good woman, you better make sure you treat her right. Because there's a whole lot of good men just waiting to come into your good woman life.
I love it. I love the way you execute your poems. I feel like it's like a story. I love it. So let's see. What projects do you have coming up? Anything new soon?
So currently, I am getting ready to drop a few ebooks. I'm gonna be able to do an ebook on how I published my first book. Also an ebook on public speaking, because I know a lot of people tend to have a hard time with doing so. So I'm just going to start doing a lot of e-products. I'm I'm working on new designs for t-shirts just because I discontinued Black and Educated. I want to be able to fill in the gap.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for new material, new merchandise, new shirts. As soon as the world opens back up, y'all know I'm jumping back on the road, getting back at the shows. I don't have anything scheduled right now because we have no idea what this pandemic is going to look like over the next couple of months. But yeah, just look for me online, Kylelashay Draper, across all platforms, or HeyKylelashay.com. That's HEYYY, Kylelashay.com, KYLELASHAY.com. Other than that, I'm here trying to be a presence online, be a force in the world. Whenever you see me coming, know that it's all love and light, and come speak to me when you see me.
Yes, ma'am. And my question to close out for everyone else, with everything going on, what would be your words of encouragement or your solution to keep Black people moving forward during this difficult time with all that's happening in the world?
My word of encouragement is to tap into who you are. Take responsibility for your role. Be a present force, personally and in front of the world. In order for change to take place, it has to take place inside of us, because everything begins inside of us. No matter what it is, if it's a thought, if it's a feeling, it's going to reflect to the outer world. Our current state condition that we are in the world is a result of what's going on inside of us. So until we correct what's happening inside, we can't correct what's happening outside. It's not a matter of a physical change. It's a matter of a spiritual, mental, and emotional change. And when that happens, we can see the world reflect that of which we are internally.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, your wise words, your beautiful aura, your energy. I love it all. Like I said, you're my new girl crush.
I love you.
If I could put you in my pocket and carry you around everywhere, I would. I would. But thank you so much for spending time with me and letting me know a little bit about yourself. And anybody, please check it out. It's Turning Me On, her book.
Yes, and these are the lessons I learned from my exes.
Yes. And
I encourage you and anyone else who reads it to get that journal, write down your mom's, your dad's, your histories, do all of the soul surgery. I promise you will thank yourself. It's not an easy process. It will be probably the hardest thing you have to do, because nobody likes looking at themselves, especially when it's not so pretty. But I encourage you to do that, because when you clean it out, you only got positive things to make space for. So get a journal and write it down and get the mess out. No more hoarding.
Yep. No more. It's all about healing.
Yes. Healing all 2020.
Healing all 2020. Now we have time to do it. You're in the house. You got time to heal. Sit in the house and heal.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you. And I hope that we can have you, maybe you can fly out here and come in the studio with us, and we can actually have you in the studio with us and recording as a guest.
Yes, definitely. I would love that, girl. Your energy, your vibe, everything is amazing. And I totally appreciate your support and everything you just said, done, inviting me out, your energy when I met you, all of it. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. Well, I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.